So here we have a video from 2 months ago where I did a Doi Suthep indoor time trial. Me and Pauline did it. I hope you guys enjoy. Gonna take some commentary from my website. Lateral push. Yesterday was a fun day out with a mate of mine, Theo. He has a concealed torture chamber in his house called the Pain Cave, a tiny 3 by 1.5 meter room where one can suffer as much as one desires on a trusty Wahoo kicker smart trainer. He refers to all who engage in high intensity interval training on this trainer as victims. My wife and I just happened to be his next two victims, and he was displaying his sadistic pleasure by dancing to the beat of Armin at Tomorrowland. All jokes aside, it was a good experience to be able to do a climb longer than 12 minutes, since my best option here in Pretoria is Klapperkop, a 6.3 kilometer undulating segment at 3% average gradient. Doi Suthep is a 10.7 kilometer climb, which has an average gradient of 6%. When I lived in Chiang Mai, it was a staple climb for me as I did it most days. Doi Suthep is one of the most, if not the most competitive climbs in Southeast Asia on Strava. My training for the last few months has been about 4 hours of cardio per week, which is running and cycling combined, with an average of 10 minutes of that being high intensity. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to training these days and do the minimum to maintain a decent level of fitness. I'm not as fit as a full-time pro, but I can still keep up with them if I sit on the back. So since I've ridden both Doi Suthep and virtual Doi Suthep, I can actually compare virtual versus reality. I found that the virtual segment gives a significantly slower time for the same effort in terms of watts per kilogram. My wife and I would have gone faster on the real segment for the efforts we both put in yesterday. It doesn't bother me though, because I compare apples with apples. There are currently 74 times registered for the virtual climb, and I managed to get 6th place yesterday with my relatively shit fitness. I was 4 minutes and 34 seconds off of the comp pace with a time of 34 minutes and 50. Strangely enough, the wattage for the fastest time, which is 30 minutes and 16 seconds, was only 212 watts. So unless that guy was weighing 40 kilograms, then it does seem a bit odd that such a low wattage can produce such a fast time. So what was the data like for the virtual climb? My average power was 313 watts at a weight of 72 kilograms, which is 4.35 watts per kilo. The cadence was close to what I did for my personal best on the real life segment at 86 RPM. On the real life segment, it was 87 RPM. The difference with the virtual one was that I had a 25 tooth cog on the back with a 39 tooth chainring on the front, so I was grinding for some parts of the segment. I'm going to leave links to both the virtual segment and the actual segment in the description down below. If you have a look at both of the segments, you will see that the real segment is obviously a lot more competitive, as there are 8,238 times registered, and I managed to get 7th fastest time up there without doping, drafting, or a super light bike. My bike weighed 8 kilos at the time, and the Com Rider had a 6.5 kilo bike, so that helps quite a bit. What I liked about the virtual segment is that you can watch an actual recorded video of the ride up the segment in real time as you do it. It seems that it was recorded with a GoPro, so it's in first person and it feels like you are right there doing the actual climb. The footage speeds up or slows down if you are faster or slower than the pace of the rider that recorded the footage. This was all a new experience for me, as I was used to riding on a traditional stationary trainer before this, and I'm impressed with how far technology has come. I can say that I like virtual rides as much as I like actual rides because of how much more enjoyable they have become. For nutrition on the day, I simply add 150 grams of sugar mixed in a 700 ml bottle so as to keep my stomach light and breathing optimal. I don't recommend a big breakfast for at least 3 hours before a hard effort like this. I also did a 14-kilometer run at a moderate pace beforehand, so there was perhaps a little bit of fatigue, but I can't say that I felt it much. It was just good to push hard for that long again, and I know it was hard because I seriously considered quitting after 10 minutes. We've all been there. That's it for now. If anything interesting happens, I'll keep y'all posted. Till then, enjoy a nice Beyond Meat burger as I did after the ride. You can thank me later.
That's it. You are done. Yes. You can cool it down now.
Crazy, huh?